the Quincy Lodge of Elks is accepting scholarship applications once again from students here in Quincy, so it's time to learn all about that and how you might be able to participate. So we welcome to the program today State Representative Bruce Ayers of Quincy, and also Dan Coughlin is here, former dean at North Quincy High School, and also on the scholarship committee for the Lodge of Elks. So guys, great to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Nice to be here.
Bruce, always a pleasure. Lifelong elk yourself, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, been out for many, many years, but Dan has got me by a few years. He joined when it was at Quincy Square. I was when it was at the old Miles Standish School.
Wow.
So we've both been longtime members of the Elks organization.
Yeah, always a good place to start is kind of just a little refresher of what the Elks are, Bruce, if you could.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a great fraternal organization. They have an awful lot to do with the community that they do quietly, kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, Dan and I have been involved with the scholarship committee for many, many years. But there's also a variety of committees, you know, that work with the veterans, the seniors, the kids, the Christmas basket programs, the dictionary, just a whole array of issues that the Exalted Ruler oversees. And you know, we're fortunate to be able to get a good funding budget to operate a lot of these programs through a lot of the events that the Lodge does. So they're very active. I think now they have, I think it's like 1,600 members.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Just in
Yeah.
Quincy?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest in the state.
I bet.
As
Yeah.
far as members.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
but-
So you meet at the Terrell Room, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
It's the headquarters, if you will, downstairs, right, is the lodge?
Well, they have a lodge downstairs,
Yeah.
and they have one upstairs, and then in the back there's the Terrell Room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so
Very good.
it works out well.
How does one become an elk in Quincy?
It's funny, when I started, my brother Chuck and I were just old enough, and I remember my father Charlie saying, "You two boys are going to join the Elks." Back
There's
then,
no
you know,
question about it.
you know, it really wasn't on the top of our priorities back then. You know, but
How old do you have to be?
21.
Oh, okay.
So you know, he had us join the club, and you know, in hindsight, when we look back at it, it was a great thing. You meet a lot of great people. They do a lot of good in the community. Anyone can do it. You know, we certainly encourage anyone maybe watching the show today to come up to the lodge, maybe you know, get an interest in some of the things that it does. You don't necessarily have to be active. If you want to volunteer and do things after you get acclimated with the lodge, by all means.
Okay.
But you know, just a great organization. They do a lot of good things.
Yeah, as much or as little as you want, right? You can,
Exactly.
You can contribute, yeah. Who's the Exalted Ruler this year?
Right now, it's Sean McGottle.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And is it a new one every year? Is that how it works? Or-
Yes.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. But one of the big pushes we're here to talk about today is the scholarships, right, that the Elks give out to Quincy students every year.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and Dan and I have been doing it for many years, and the scholarships are now available. So you know, we appreciate the opportunity, Joe, to kind of talk to you today, to talk a little bit about what the students can apply for.
Yes.
There's a local scholarship application that's now available. It's not due back until March 15th.
Okay.
There's a state application, that is available. That's not due back till January 15th.
All right.
There's also a vocational one that is due, the deadline is January 15th.
Okay.
So there's lots of opportunities there for students or maybe their parents who might be watching this to learn more about the program, what the criteria is, and they can email us and we'll get them an application in the mail right out.
Okay, very good. So there's still time to do that.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, that's good. We should bring you, Dan, in and talk a little bit first about your experience as former dean at North, and I'm sure you saw a lot of students that benefited from
They do.
Elk
They do.
scholarships.
And just to backtrack a little bit,
Yeah.
the best thing is for the parents to be involved because
Yep.
the kids don't realize how important it is. No
'Cause
matter
you're- 'cause
what
you're
the
kids
amount
and you
it
don't
is.
know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, you know, there's a big deal up at the Elks the night they give out the scholarships.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Bruce always finds a speaker to come, and every one of them that's come to speak. The last year was the Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, and she said, "Geez, I thought I was going to an Elks Lodge. I didn't know I was going into the Terrell Room."
Oh, is that right? That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the kids that are involved in athletics and drama and, you know, anything in the school, and there's plenty of scholarships out there, but the kids don't realize how important it is to get the scholarships, especially from the Elks, because you meet so many people up there, that influential people that are going to be able to help you, not just give you the scholarship. And the members up there really pride themselves on the amount of scholarships that go out. So it's good for us, but it's even better for the lodge that contact happens with the parents and the kids, and they realize what a great place it is.
You may even meet the future governor,
you
which
never know.
some of them did, right? When Maura Healey
Yeah.
came as Attorney General.
Yeah.
So you don't know, but that's because you're young that you don't realize.
Yeah.
So you just have
Yeah.
to say to the kids, "Trust me.
Right.
This is good. This is
Yeah.
good for you,
Yeah.
right? Do it." There's no cost to apply for a scholarship, right?
No.
There's no cost. So let's talk about the process. Who can apply for a scholarship from the Elks, and how do they do that?
And anyone in any of the high schools,
Okay.
if they're going on to another vocational school or especially a 4-year college or 2-year college, but they can apply, and if they have parents or grandparents that are members there, they'll get a closer look usually, saying, the family's been involved,
Yep.
and if we can help you out. But years ago there was a bunch of scholarships that members had left a ton of money to do those scholarships, and they were named after that person. And when those slowly dried up, the membership stepped up big time.
Oh, really?
And
That's nice.
a lot of meat raffles, things like that, money goes there. A lot of a lot of people, when they fill out their renewal every year, have a chance to donate some money right to the scholarships, which happens.
That's
So
great. Yeah.
it's a good process that, like I said, if the kids are more involved when they fill out those applications, then they realize this is really nice that a fraternal organization is just giving money away.
Yeah, yeah, and it's nice that it comes from their own community. So it's very local. It's the older generation helping the younger generation in their
Right.
own community
Yeah.
advance their education. Right? About how many do you give away, and what are the amounts? How does that get determined, basically?
Well, we kind of correlate between the two.
Okay.
They're usually
The two high schools, you mean?
well, the budget and how many we give away.
Oh, yeah, that.
You know? That's our metrics.
Yeah.
We in past, I think 4 or 5 years ago, Dan will tell you, we gave out 50 scholarships.
Wow.
We had just a great budget.
Super.
The lodge has been super supportive. We've, like Dan alluded to, they do the meat raffles.
Yep.
There's some outside money. Some of the there's other scholarships too, like the past exalted ruler Frank Bertoni has a scholarship named after his late wife Barbara Bertoni, nursing scholarship.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So if someone is more interested in going in the nursing field, she could apply for that scholarship.
Yes. Okay.
So last year the numbers were a little bit lower because it was post-COVID, but we still gave out 22 scholarships.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and the kids most of them were from North Quincy High School and Quincy High School. We work with Mary Devlin and Helena Skinner at the two schools.
Okay.
They help distribute some of the applications. We obviously mail them out. Anyone interested in the show can get them. But there's also other high schools. A lot of
really?
the members of the lodge have grandsons and granddaughters from all out the South Shore.
Oh, all right.
So
I didn't realize it could be from outside of Quincy.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
So there's a broad reach.
Yeah.
It's not just Quincy. Majority of Quincy, but
Yeah.
they'll go down to Hanover, Plymouth, Kingston, all
okay.
over if there's an affiliation, with an Elks member.
Yes.
They
Oh,
don't
okay.
necessarily have to be an Elks member
Right.
affiliate, but in some cases there are.
Somewhere in the family, there's an affiliation. Yeah.
That's
Could
right.
it be like Archie's? Could be a private school as well, or just public?
Yes, someone from Archie's could
Yeah.
apply for the scholarship
Okay.
to go, and we've last year I think a lot of the kids were going to Mass Maritime, Babson, a lot of colleges, just some great kids, and Dan does a great job, with the students. He knows all the students. I think he knows everybody.
Yeah.
And getting the word out,
Yeah.
helping them with the paperwork process,
Yeah.
making sure the family understands it, kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Yep.
So it's a great community. We try to do what we can with the resources we have. It works out well.
Dan, for folks who do want to apply, what kind of information do they need in order
The
to?
grades,
Okay.
some of the family background,
Okay.
what work they do.
Okay.
A lot of it isn't based on much, but if they're really in need, that you want to help the most needy people if
yes.
you can.
That must be,
So-
those meetings must be tough to actually determine who.
It is. It's good though when you see that people that really need something are getting it.
Yeah.
And that they're so thankful, the families.
Yeah.
That it's a good way, to show people in the community that the Elks care about families.
Yeah.
That may be, struggling a little bit, but
Yep.
with any kid that is going to college is getting themselves into a big debt situation, and
Oh, yes, absolutely.
for the parents
yeah.
to get that extra help, it means a lot to them.
Sure.
And the night is the Barretts who run the Terrell room
Mm-hmm.
are very generous, and we have up in the big room.
Oh, it's a beautiful ceremony.
And it's really, even the kids are impressed. that,
Yes.
they're being waited on. And
That's right.
Everything's really good there. So it's a night that the parents appreciate, but they also feel special
Mm-hmm.
that they're getting that special night from the Terrell room and the Barretts. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gives it some merit, right?
It
Some-
really
some
is, yeah,
weight,
yeah.
And it probably, makes them feel a little bit like a grown-up, thinking,
Yeah. No, they do dress properly when they come.
right, right, yeah.
Well, Dan's right, because it's a night for them to be recognized,
Yeah.
not only by their peers, but by their parents. Each student gets a citation, a picture with the guest speaker, which last year it was with the Exalted Ruler and the Lieutenant Governor, Kim Driscoll. It's a great meal, and everybody who's been in the Terrell room knows how beautiful it is.
Oh, it's gorgeous,
So it's just a nice event the lodge promotes for the students.
Yeah. When is the next scholarship ceremony?
We usually have it in June.
Okay.
We usually work around the function schedule,
Sure,
but
yeah.
second or third week in June.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful time of year because you get the view of the Blue Hills right out those gorgeous
Right,
windows.
yeah.
So there's great photo ops as
Yes,
well.
the gazebo, everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, when hopefully the weather will cooperate. So do the scholarships have to be used for their continuing education? Is that one of the caveats?
Well, yes.
Yeah, okay.
The local one, of course, is good for every high school senior.
Okay.
And once they're kind of in the Elks system, so to speak,
Yeah.
they can apply for the Elks State Scholarship.
Okay.
The State Scholarship is really a great scholarship because they can reapply every year the students in school. It's just not a one-shot
Oh,
thing.
so even while they're in college,
You can
Okay.
keep reapplying, and we've had students that have, I think, gotten anywhere from $500 to maybe $1,500 each year they were in college.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a huge
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
So it's a nice program that they have.
Yeah.
And the applications. For anyone who has filled out some of these scholarship applications, they can be really tricky.
Yes.
But the Elks, like we try to make the local one a reasonable application.
Right.
It's really not a lot to it. We're just looking for basic information
Okay.
on the student, what they're studying, a little bit about their background and
Okay.
criteria. The state one, pretty much the same too.
Okay.
So we don't want to discourage anyone when they start to hear about applications they have to fill out. They might be scared away sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really an
Yeah.
easy process.
What was your third grade class project? And, what was your GPA
Yeah.
in elementary school? Or, yeah.
Well, I've seen some of the other ones that they require for these kids to be eligible, and they're
Yeah.
asking all kinds of documents and information. And we try to make it as easy as we can.
Good.
User friendly.
Yes. Yeah. There's no
Easy for us too.
Yeah, well, exactly. Right.
That's right. We got to read them.
Well, because you want to focus on the kids, not so much bureaucracy, if you will,
Right.
or red tape.
Yeah.
When do the winners get notified, and how does that happen? How does that process work? Do they get a phone call? Do they get a letter? Do they get both? Or?
Well, what we usually do, we'll have all their information.
Yep.
We'll have their email address and things like that. So once Dan and I and the committee kind of review all the applications, review the budget, figure out what we can do,
Yeah.
we'll notify them all via email.
Okay.
We'll call them, and then we'll start working on the event at Barrett's.
Right.
So it's a busy time of year.
Yep.
Okay, June's really busy for it. Early on, like we're doing now, the biggest thing we want to do is a push to let people know the program's out there,
Okay.
that these opportunities are available. And then after March 15th, after the deadline it is, that's when the work starts.
Okay, for the committee. Yeah, how many people on the committee do you know right now?
I think about 7.
7. Okay. Do you need help on the committee?
Right now, I mean, if anyone wants to help, we can always use it, but we've got a pretty good committee.
Okay, that's good. So, Dan, tell me about your experience at North as a dean there. How long did you do that? What did you do there?
I was at North Quincy High almost 38 years.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, and I was in the shop teaching and
Oh,
tech
okay.
drawing, and then I
Okay.
moved up to dean and helped out with a lot of the sports teams. So I got to know a lot of the kids, the
And
families,
their
the
families,
situations,
yeah.
and everything. And it was fun. It was a good little career that I enjoyed going in every day, and
Yeah.
enjoyed all the other stuff that basketball and golf and everything like that
Yeah.
that went on. So it was fun.
So you probably met a lot of students though that would benefit from like a scholarship.
Definitely, yeah. I still help out with the golf teams, and so I really push those kids because, a lot of the golf kids it's a totally different program than the other sports where there's a boosters club and
Yep.
all that.
Yeah.
So I try to push those golf kids and say, there's a scholarship there. You just fill it out and you'll get it.
Yeah.
So it's
just
good that
just
way.
ask, right?
Yeah, that's
It's
basically
there
it,
for the
yeah.
taking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever see kids come back as Elks now that you had as students?
There's a few of them.
Have
yeah.
you really? Yeah.
A few you don't want to see, but most of them you want to see.
That's great. That's great. Well, with 1,600 members
Yeah.
plus, you're bound to see a few, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's a big thing to push for more and more people to join.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a great place, and there's not many places where you can go and run into people that you haven't seen in a long time, but
Yeah.
also good people that you get to know, and you're happy to go in there
Yep.
and have a drink or whatever, and talk to people, and it's fun.
I would think too. Former scholarship winners would want to come back and give back. Do you see
It's hard
that?
to find them. You're trying to
that-
put a little pressure on them.
Oh, is that
No,
right?
no.
Oh, well, maybe we can do that here.
It would be really nice if we could have keep track of them and just say, look,
Yeah.
you were taken care of 10 years ago, and
Give back, right?
Yeah,
Give back
and
a little
some
bit.
of the
yeah.
successful ones, if they just were asked, I'm sure that they would donate.
That's right.
Yeah.
So here's you guys asking, right?
Right, that's it, yeah.
Ask away. Yeah.
Well, something they never forget.
Well, that's true.
And
Yeah.
we try to send them out the pictures
Yep.
and all the memorabilia from that event too. And,
Just remember where you started.
That's
from,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I like to think we helped out a little bit.
Well, I mean, you get it. Life gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
Their careers, their families, they're busy. But maybe just that little nudge.
Yeah.
To say, hey, there's a kid that used to be just like you that could use some help, right?
Yeah. But to Dan's point and giving back to the community, like today now, the Elks are having a big Veterans Day dinner at 4 o'clock at the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to be preparing shortly for the holiday food basket drive.
Yes. Yeah. See,
you know,
these are things we don't even hear about that you guys do.
And it's all done. It's all done quietly.
Yes.
The veterans event today will have hundreds of veterans.
Is that right?
Up at the Terrell Room.
Okay.
All the members serve the meals.
Yeah.
The Christmas basket food drive. All the volunteers meet at the fruit basket the Sunday before Christmas, and we have a list of people who just need a little help at a huge Christmas meal.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are great things to highlight because like you say, they're done quietly, and people don't realize the good that you're doing, and the way that folks could help out as well.
Yeah, it's gratifying to help out.
I'm sure. Again, it's the big push right now though is apply for Elk scholarships, right?
Yes,
Yes.
a big push now,
Okay.
and again, Joe, thank you for helping us spread
Yes,
the
of
word.
course, yes.
You're great with the Elks. We certainly appreciate that. A shout out to the Exalted Ruler, Sean Magato. He's got offices that do an awful lot of work that they probably don't get recognized for.
Yeah.
The Board of Trustees, the same thing. They're really running the lodge. Dan and I help out with the committee. There's a lot of great committees up there, so we're very grateful for the support that they give us financially to run this program. And now what we're trying to do is kick it off with some publicity.
Okay. Well, we hopefully help our little way here to get the word out for
definitely.
you. So, anything else we should let folks know about, Dan?
No, that's great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always people that are interested in what happens at the Elks, stop in and see for yourself, and you'll realize if you're going to meet people that you didn't realize were Elks, and you're going to run into new people, and it's always good to have new members come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you both.
No,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Bruce?
No,
Okay.
it really is a great place. There's
Yeah.
a lot going on entertainment-wise, and it's just a great social place to go.
Great. Well, I hope we helped a little bit on our part here at QATV to get the word out for you.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching us here at AM Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. We'll see you next time.